No. That's right.
Nice to see you.
John Martin, who's heading a higher initiative, and Linda, who helps him. One in 4 people listening.
Problems which are far greater than most people imagine, and that cost this nation dearly in terms of profit.
Say from the start, for those of you who are not too familiar with Turning Point, that this is not a Puritan crusade. Turning Point is not a bit every now and then. After all, we are meeting in a brewery. Apart from which, they've invited me to chair the session, and I'm a drinker, and so here that my own involvement stems from television. Some years ago, I produced a documentary on what sounds, on the face of it, a quite different subject about as throughout society. Not just on the roads, but on other accident statistics too, of course, on become indistinguishable. Then I did 2 programs on drug abuse. In one, we followed a junkie by the name of Gina. And what intrigued me as we were doing it was that the paralyzers. Now, I like to think, perhaps erroneously, that that program helped to encourage the abandonment of barbiturate prescribing, or at least most of it, but tranquilizers are still to a penny, as we'll hear later, and largely submerged problem, to learn that drink and drugs are much bigger.
Ladies and gentlemen, 1989 marks the Silver Jubilee of Turning Point, a charity which, during its 25 years, has gained enormous experience in dealing with problems related to drug and alcohol misuse. Today, Turning Point is the largest national voluntary organisation catering for those with drink, drug and mental health problems. Before going any further, I should make it clear that what I have to say is not the result of any special expertise. But in my time as patron, I have seen at first hand some of the work undertaken by Turning Point around the country, and the conclusions I have drawn are perhaps those any layman might reach given a similar opportunity. I was quickly made aware of the fact that drug and alcohol problems are on the increase, especially among the young. I will not trouble you now with statistics. No doubt better qualified speakers will do so later. But anybody who reads newspapers, listens to the radio, or watches television will recognise the underlying contributions made by drugs and alcohol to many of the problems which afflict society. The next discovery came as more of a surprise. Those who imagine that drug and alcohol problems mainly affect the less fortunate members of our community would be quite wrong. On the contrary, addiction can strike any who suffer stress in their personal or professional lives. For alcohol and drugs do not respect age, sex, class, or occupation, and the line between recreational use and creeping addiction is perilously thin. We must remember then that the majority of Turning Point's clients come from ordinary communities. Very few of them resemble a stereotype junkie or drunk. Most have, or certainly had, a normal family and working life. For many, the tragic consequence of their addiction is that they have lost their jobs and hurt and confused their families.